If you own rental property, you probably assume your insurance has you covered. But an estimated 2/3 of residential properties in the US are underinsured right now, and most landlords don't find out until they file a claim. I'm not an insurance agent, and I'm not here to sell you a policy, but I've managed hundreds of properties, and I've seen what happens when a landlord files a claim and finds out too late that their coverage has a hole. A pipe bursts, a tenant caused damage, a storm hits, and suddenly the landlord is writing a check they thought the insurance company would handle. The problem is almost never that they didn't have insurance. It's that they had a policy they never really read and assumed it covered more than it did. Here are the 3 gaps that cost landlords the most money. Number 1, your policy probably doesn't cover what your tenant does on purpose. This is the one that catches most landlords off guard. Standard landlord insurance typically doesn't cover intentional damage caused by tenants. If a tenant punches a hole in a wall during an argument, that's probably covered because it's sudden and accidental from the insurer's perspective. But if a tenant trashes the unit on the way out, rips out fixtures, damages appliances, or intentionally destroys flooring, most standard policies exclude that. You need a specific vandalism or malicious mischief endorsement to be covered, and a lot of landlords don't have one. On top of that, your policy doesn't cover your tenant's belongings. That's what renter's insurance is for. And if your tenant doesn't have it and something happens, they're coming to you looking for answers you can't give them. Requiring renter's insurance in your lease is one of the simplest ways to protect both of you. Standard landlord insurance excludes flood damage, earthquake damage, sewer and drain backups, and most mold situations. And these aren't rare cases. Water damage is one of the most common landlord claims filed every year, and a sewer backup can cost $2,000 to $10,000 just in cleanup, and potentially much more if the line itself needs to be repaired or replaced. If you own property in a flood zone or an area prone to storms, you need a separate flood policy. If your property has older plumbing, a sewer backup rider could save you from a catastrophic bill. And the mold, which often develops after water damage, is typically only covered under very specific circumstances unless you add coverage for it. The point isn't that you need every endorsement available. What you need to know is what exactly your policy excludes so you can decide which gaps are worth filling based on your property and your risk. Your replacement cost is probably outdated. Insurance premiums have been climbing every year, and a lot of landlords respond by keeping their coverage the same or even reducing it to save money. But construction costs and material prices have gone up significantly since most policies were originally written. If your dwelling coverage is based on a replacement cost estimate from 3 or 4 years ago, it might not be enough to actually rebuild or repair your property after a major loss. That gap between what you're insured for and what it would actually cost to rebuild is money that comes out of your pocket. Reviewing your replacement cost estimate at every renewal and making sure it reflects current construction costs in your area is one of the most important things you can do. We're not insurance agents, but we've seen enough claims go sideways to know which gaps hurt landlords the most. If you're not sure what your policy actually covers, or if it's been a while since you've reviewed it, it's worth having that conversation with your insurer or your property manager. And if you want help figuring out what to look for, give us a call or shoot us an email. We're happy to walk through what we've seen and help you make sure your investment is actually protected. I'm Pierce Fraga with Tide Property Management, and we look forward to hearing from you.